For more on this, let's bring in the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State, Joel Rubin, along with foreign correspondent Shelby Wilder. She joins us live from London today after spending months in Ukraine reporting on the evolving military tactics on the Eastern European battlefront, including those drones. Good to see you both. Shelby, we appreciate the coverage you've been able to give us, and I know it's been so dangerous for you this whole time over in Ukraine, over on the Eastern Front here. So just talk about what you're seeing there, and then explain to us how these drones are used and where they're shot at. I know they go into civilian areas, anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, we know that Russia has fired more than 57,000 of these kamikaze, Shahed, Geran drones at Ukraine throughout this full-scale invasion. And Russia launches them by the hundreds every single day. I mean, this week, in the span of 24 hours, Russia launched nearly 1,000 drones at Ukraine. Now, Ukraine, because of this, has really gained this incredible experience at intercepting these drones, and they're incredibly effective. But when we do see these kamikaze drones get through, they still bring death and destruction in their wake. And these are very cheap weapons, Russia's favorite weapon to use in its war as this grinds on. And now we have seen their partnership with Iran, which is using them as well in the Gulf.
Joel, I want to get your thoughts on that propaganda video that we showed. It was obviously the AI-generated one, but symbolizing the Statue of Liberty, a nuclear bomb potentially going after it. I mean, it's extremely dark and frankly, quite terrifying. What do you make of that?
Yeah, Katrina, really is speaking directly to what the Iranian regime thinks and where it's trying to head. And I think that's why we're in the situation we're in right now, because they developed a nuclear program heading towards weapons and never have held back. And now we have a war. And look, really, there are two fronts to this war. There's the kinetic, the on-the-ground fighting, but there is also this digital war and the meme war and the war for public opinion. And this is intended to scare Americans. It's intended to sway global opinion towards their side. I think it backfires. I think demonstrating you want to drop a nuclear weapon on New York should tell the world what the intentions really are of this regime. And certainly, they're trying to win in the global digital space.
Shelby, tell us how quickly they're able to make these drones, you know, where they're coming out of, and then the kind of damage they do cause once they make impact.
Yeah, so I just want to note there's lots of different drones that are now being used in this modern warfare. We have the small FPV first-person drones, and then we have these larger Shahed kamikaze drones. Russia produces them in factories across Russia, and they can do that relatively quickly. But what I do, and Russia launches that across all of Ukraine. I mean, the massive strike we saw carried out this week was targeting Western Ukraine, more than 1,000 kilometers from the front line near the Polish border. That was targeting civilians. So Russia is launching this as psychological warfare as well across Ukraine. But what Ukraine has developed, and that is what they've taken with their expertise to the Middle East, are these interceptor drones. And those drones, Ukraine produces, 3D prints them 24/7 across Ukraine and uses those to play a game of cat and mouse to essentially hunt down these incoming Russian or Iranian-made drones, crash into them, explode, and knock them out of the sky. And that is why when this war began in the Middle East, Ukraine stepped up and went to help its Gulf partners. Along with the United States, we know that Zelensky said military experts and interceptor drones were sent to protect U.S. military bases in Jordan because they have such a, again, low-cost but effective measures they have developed in taking down these drones.
Joel, want to get your thoughts on this. FBI Director Kash Patel announcing that an IED was found at MacDill Air Force Base in Florida. Patel writing this: a brother and sister have now been indicted. One is in custody for accessory and evidence tampering, and the primary suspect is charged with explosive offenses and is currently in China. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Katrina, look, we're going to likely see a continued uptick in independent attacks as well as potentially coordinated attacks here on the homeland. It's just a sad reality that Iran has historically attacked soft targets, and they have their gun sights. There's a reason why, I should put it this way, why they're the leading state sponsor of terrorism in the world and why they've been designated as such for decades. And so we have to have our guard up. I'm glad that this announcement came out quickly. It's important that we here in the United States are paying attention, just like after September 11th and in the early days of the war against Iraq. We need to pay attention. We need to inform our local police. We need the FBI to hear all tips. And any lead could be potentially one that saves lives.
Yeah, it goes back to that often quoted saying here, especially in New York, if you see something, say something. All right.
That's right.
Shelby, we appreciate it. Thank you.